we took an approach which symbolized a desire that showcased that we were listening to our young people, coming out of our national consultations for earlier this year and certainly last year, and with the completed situation analysis and all the information that we did that went into forming those things to complete our revised youth policy. We recognized that our young people were clear that to them, they wanted a society where they could be productive, where they could evolve, where they could develop, and where they really felt that they had a very special place for moving this country forward. And one young person in particular spoke about is just so the thing said. Well, we said to ourselves, we want to reset the thing. And in this particular Youth Month, we decided that we would have a campaign, not only for Youth Month, but as a general principle going forward, that we were going to reset our approaches, our dialogue as a country, using the Ministry of Youth and Culture and using our youth as a catalysts for real change. So reset the thing, the courage to do things differently, is not a campaign that came up sitting around a table of marketers to decide for something to sound good, but it really was something coming up that we felt is important. So as a result, we realized that Youth Month was not enough. We not only had to have a Youth Month, but we have to launch our programs in Youth Month and then have a series of activities over several months. And so over the course of this November, we had some very significant events, one of which was the election of our new National Youth Council President, who is here with us this morning, with other members of his team, and our election of our National Secondary Students Council President. We've also launched Ponder Corner Reasonings. We've also had grade 4 with our young people, and we are continuing. So this morning, what we are here to do is to speak about another program which will take place early next year, but we need to give you the details of what will go into that program. And there are other persons here from other organizations under the ministry, which I'm sure you will want to speak to. The National Youth Service is celebrating 40 years, and they've launched several projects, one of which was a graduate work employment program for tertiary students, which placed over 200 graduates in employment for November, and also launching a 40 community projects. So, as a minister, I'm really pleased to be here this morning with our young people as usual, and to turn over to them now, for them to tell you what we're doing, because I really feel very privileged to lead a ministry that is full of young professionals leading the charge for youth and culture. And when you look at who works in the ministry, you realize that our future is very bright, because it is young people leading the charge for your own development. I'm not so young myself, but I like to think of myself that way. So, without any further ado, I'm hearing or leading. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. The Prime Minister's Youth Awards for Excellence in 2013, we have open nominations on Sunday, December 1st, 2013. The nominations will be accepted for all young persons between the age of 15 to 24 who have excelled in any field of endeavor. The young persons who are eligible can be resident in Jamaica or in the Diaspora. We welcome nominations for any young person who is a Jamaican citizen and national who has excelled to a world-class standard. There are 10 categories: academics, agriculture, arts and culture, entrepreneurship, journalism, leadership, sports, youth in service, international achievement, and youth work. Under the guidance of the Minister, we have begun looking at updating the Prime Minister's Youth Awards for Excellence, including, beginning this year, the Youth Work Award category, which we have expanded to not only focus on youth organizations, but to open it up to individual youth workers who are either conceptualizing, coordinating, or implementing youth work programs to an international best practice standard. Our focus, based on our directive from the Most Honourable Prime Minister, is that we look at young persons who are overcoming the greatest odds to achieve at a high level. Those in particular young persons from deep rural Jamaica, those from our inner city communities, and young persons who are disabled, and also those who are living with HIV/AIDS. And we would welcome into the public who are aware of young persons who are in those particular categories and circumstances who are achieving to bring forward the nominations. The final upgrade is that we'll be looking at having a maximum number of young persons awarded annually. That will help us to maintain the level and prestige of the Prime Minister's Youth Awards for Excellence, and allow us to really showcase Jamaican young persons who are thinking locally but acting globally and achieving at a world-class level. Finally, we'd like to extend our congratulations to some of our Prime Minister Youth Awardee alumni who have had significant achievements this year. In particular, Nicholas Dressard, who was an awardee in sport, who has now won the World Middleweight Martial Arts Championship. Mr. Timor Jackson, who was recently awarded the Rhodes Scholarship, the 2012 alumni will remember him. And Ms. Aliyah Atkins, who was also a 2012 alumni, who is on her way to certainly breaking the world record and is having an interesting battle with a young lady from Europe, but we are sure that she will prevail. Commencing next year, the Minister has worked with us, and we will begin consultations with subject ministries and relevant stakeholders to incorporate two very important new categories, both of which are dear to the Minister's heart. The first is science, technology, and research, and also the environment and climate change. And we would hope in the 2014 Prime Minister's Youth Awards to expand to include these two very important categories which are relevant to Jamaica and the advancement of our 2030 vision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. I would now ask Simon to, every time I look at him, I can't believe that he has I'll ask Simon to make his remarks.
First, let me say all protocols observed. Good morning, everyone. Undoubtedly, the Prime Minister's Youth Award is the highest honor that any youngster can achieve within Jamaica. Winning the Prime Minister's Youth Award for Excellence in Journalism on March 24th of this year was a major accomplishment in my life. It was like a dream come true. Hard work really does pay off. Up until now, I still experience goosebumps just thinking about it. Winning the award means everything to me. It even cements my thoughts and desires to want to pursue this field and to press on within journalism. People may say that journalism, as it relates to the salary, is very mediocre when it comes to the paying. However, I believe that once you're efficient in what you do in life, things will fall into place for you, so there's nothing to rush. Since winning the award, I've achieved a number of accolades which I'm truly grateful for. Upon graduating from Hillel Academy High School in May of this year, I received the Sportsmanship Special Recognition Award for my vast experience within the field and the progress that I've made within it. I also got my wish on the tertiary institution that I would like to attend, and I got offered a full-time place at the University of the West Indies to major within journalism at the Caribbean Media Institute of Media and Communication, CARMAC. In addition to this, I've been offered a contract with CBM Television to assist with statistics, research and analysis for the upcoming 2014 World Cup. I've also achieved more experience within my field of journalism, as I also assist the Jamaica Football Federation with their bi-monthly grassroots program. Within Jamaica, development of youth within sports has not been of major assistance of recent. The important thing is that we do have an abundance of raw talent in our different sporting disciplines, but if they're not nurtured and given the proper seasoning, we won't reap the rewards. And by myself helping in this regard with social media, it can really pay dividends, as individuals can now be able to see how important our youth is, and we will reap the fruits of our labor in the near future. So truly, it has been a rewarding 8.5 months since receiving the award. Looking ahead, I plan to assiduously finish my studies at the University of the West Indies and pursue the career which I so desire within sports journalism. And I plan to play a part in aiding the development of this country. I live by a quote that says that success is determined not by whether you face obstacles, but by your reaction to them. We all face challenges from time to time. We all face adversity. However, by keeping our eyes on the prize, we will achieve our true goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simon. And for those of you who don't know his last name, it is Presto. And his mother is right there in the back, and she has always been a very strong supporter of him. Everywhere you see him, you see her. And I know for all of our young persons here who have done well, you always have a very strong support system, whether it's a mother, father, grandmother, any young person that you ask, a mentor, what really took you through, they will tell you that there was always someone who was there to give them the strongest support. So big up to all of the supporters who are here supporting our young people. Before I go on, I really just want to ask Mr. Jones if you would just stand. This is our new National Youth Council President, Nakalion Jones. Well done, sir. I know it was a spirited election, and I'm happy that it was, because it is a revitalized National Youth Council, and we're very pleased. And I would also ask members of your executive to, if they're here, to, none are here, right? But when we do see them, and I know we have a special courtesy call with me, that we will have a good sit down and conversation. I now turn over to Ms. Anthony Blackwin, who is really leading a team of young, dynamic persons. Kemal is not so young, but he would still like to think of himself as such. From the National Center for Youth Development, who really assists us in the ministry. They are essentially an agency / division of the Ministry of Youth and Culture that have our youth empowerment officers on the ground and do a tremendous amount of work in reaching out to our young people. So, Andrew.
Thank you, Minister. Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to ensure persons here and through the media that youth leadership is alive and well in Jamaica. As the Minister mentioned, we had our National Youth Council elections on Saturday, and it was a very spirited elections. We have a core of young persons who are committed. There's excellence all around us. There's excellence in service, there's excellence in leadership. We have another core of young persons coming up through the National Secondary Students Council body. So Jamaica is in good hands. And I know that all of you here are aware of that. I would like to say as well that with the launch of the Prime Minister's Youth Awards today, that we're looking for a good crop of young persons. You do have deep shoes to fill, but we encourage you nonetheless to put forward yourselves, nominate young persons. As Mr. Blake mentioned, there are some categories of young persons that we're trying to ensure that we get nominations from. Those young persons, you would normally find them in the mainstream young persons living with HIV/AIDS, young persons who are disabled. We know that there are young persons out there who are excelling despite all of these difficult circumstances, and those are the kinds of young persons that we want to see being nominated. Anybody can nominate somebody. Ask a neighbor, ask a friend.
Thank you. And for those of you who need to find out how to get someone nominated, it's a very simple process. You can download the forms from www.youthjamaica.com, and that is the National Center for Youth Development's website. Very shortly, the Ministry of Youth and Culture's website will be up, and you will be able to also download forms from there. You can come and pick it up straight from the ministry, and we will also have forms at our national youth information centers, and certainly at other areas that we will tweet and that we will put up on the ministry's Facebook page. And so persons from social media, and if you are someone who visits social media, you will be able to see. We'll also be posting some of the things in the newspapers, and so from time to time you'll be getting updates on what is actually happening. We also have past awardees here. I know Ms. Bursey is here for Arts and Culture. We also have Mr. Rashid Hall for Leadership, if you can stand. Kimoy Bailey, who's also here. And these are some of our Berselia Barnaby, who's also from Love FM. And she gave an excellent vote of thanks last year. So, very proud of you all, and as Simon says, that we know that this is really just a stepping stone to the other large things that we'll be able to accomplish as you move on. I'm now going to close this formal section and take any questions from the press or persons who might wish to share anything. Any questions, comments, or observations? We've said it all? That's good. If there are no questions or comments, then we thank you all for coming out, and we look forward to seeing you next year at the awards ceremony. So thank you.
How you stop this? I think it's this one? Which one? This?
Where it's a record.
Where? I can't stop the camera.